So there was recently a hearing with DA Fani Willis. People have had a lot to say about this. People smoking her. A lot of people saying she's been lying. People saying she's saying the truth. That the right wing is just trying to make a big deal out of that testimony. That there's nothing wrong with that. Well, depending on what you think, a young man made a video decoding the gestures to show if she was lying here or if she was saying the truth here or what she was doing when she did something with her face or her hand, basically decoding the whole testimony. I think it's going to be an interesting one. I'm very interested to see it. It's going to be my first time too, so I urge you to stay tuned with me. Let's get to it.
When did your romantic relationship with Mr. Wade end?
This is the salaciousness of all of this, right? It needs to be very clear. Let's be very clear. I want to be clear. And let me be clear, because I want to be over-inclusive. You've been intrusive. That's a lie. It is a lie.
What are some of the most important signs of deception? What do we need to watch out for? This video looks at some of the most revealing moments from Willis's testimony. If you're new here, welcome aboard. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Let's take a closer look.
So before he starts, I just want to tell you, I'll put the link to his channel in the description. He has an amazing interview or amazing decoding of an interview Justin Trudeau of Canada had. He's done a lot of this already, so you're going to enjoy the channel. Feel free to go support him as well.
Look at the court case that's attracted a lot of attention, starring Willis, who's a DA.
Your security detail, did they take you to and from your house?
So I haven't been able to enjoy my home.
Condo, I'm sorry.
And March
where you lay your head? Did they take you to and from where you lay your head?
99% of the time.
The essence of the question is whether or not the security detail took her to and from wherever she lived. But Willis puts the emphasis on the distinction between house and condo, as if the important part of the question is the pity aspect. Pity for not being able to enjoy her home. And this isn't exactly the last time Willis emphasizes the least important things for self-serving reasons. We're about to see a wide range of diversion tactics. Next, she's asked about Nathan Wade, a prosecutor who was hired to help in the prosecution of Trump.
Would they take Mr. Wade to and from wherever you laid your head?
That has never in the history of ever happened. Ever, okay?
Your security team has never taken him?
From my house? That's a lie.
I'm asking if they've ever taken him anywhere.
And I'm telling you that that's never happened.
So your security team has never taken Mr. Wade
My security team has never taken Mr. Wade from any place where I have lived and brought him here. Never. Not once. Not ever.
From my house, she asks, even though the lawyer has already clarified the question.
Would they take Mr. Wade to and from wherever you laid your head?
From my house?
Thus, it's no longer relevant if it's a house or condo. Willis's overdone denial and commanding tone, seeking to close this line of questioning, exposes that she knows what's at stake here.
That has never in the history of ever happened. Ever, okay?
Never in the history of ever. When was that? Her commanding tone and saying it's a lie are disproportionate to the fact that she's being asked simple questions. Her reactions point to information she doesn't want to disclose, because if everything is this unequivocal and uncomplicated, why is she so frustrated? With her reactions, Willis tells on herself.
Have they ever taken the two of you together?
To where?
Anywhere.
We've left this building and gone to lunch, but I go to lunch so rarely that is a very rare occasion, I am sure. And let me be clear, it wouldn't just be Mr. Wade. So I'm sure my security team has taken me to lunch. Probably been a time I've left here 7 o'clock, gone to get something to eat. And I don't even know that they would have taken him or if he would have driven himself, but they've taken me to do that. But we're talking very few, very far in between.
Initially, she once again answers the question with a question, but as the lawyer's intonation suggests, the relevant part of the question isn't where they went, but if they went.
To where?
Anywhere.
This is starting to sound like the super important house-condo distinction. Judging by the intonation of the counter question, Willis isn't so much asking as she's trying to make the question seem ridiculous. She starts by admitting that they've left the building, and then makes an interjection followed by a micropause, signifying hesitation and thus reluctance.
We've left this building and
This reluctance is best illustrated when contrasted to her shift to a noticeably faster speech rate when talking about things she wants to talk about. In this case, how rarely she goes to lunch, which is irrelevant to the question and of no importance to anyone.
For gone to lunch, but I go to lunch so rarely. And let me be clear.
Phrases like these that speakers use to portray themselves as truthful and that Willis uses several times are often the result of the speaker knowing that they haven't been clear. So Willis shows self-awareness, awareness of the fact that the first part of her answer hasn't been clear.
It wouldn't just be Mr. Wade.
She was specific.
Shows awareness of the fact that the first part of her answer wasn't clear. So that is being detrimental to her.
Asked about Wade, so whether or not there were more people involved and on how many occasions is irrelevant. More misdirection on Willis's part. Next, she talks about her eating habits. The only issue she seems comfortable talking about, even though, or precisely because, it has nothing to do with the topic at hand.
Most days I don't even eat lunch, and when I do, it's because my assistant has heated up some bag, something, and I eat through meetings and eat in my office. It's not a practice of mine to go to lunch.
Again,
you know what is crazy? I had seen this, but I haven't seen it like this. I don't know if that makes sense. Now that he stops it, breaks it, takes it back, and talks about it, it's kind of like, oh, that is what that was.
Speech rate is noticeably faster when she's talking about things she's comfortable with. When they're talking about Wade, on the other hand, we see hesitation, counter-questions, and inconsequential distinctions.
During the time period that you were dating, would your security team ever take you two together anywhere?
No.
No? I thought she'd just spent 1 minute talking about a possible lunch. Next, when the lawyer asks again, she suddenly seems to recall this, which isn't unreliable at all.
No.
Never.
If there was a lunch that occurred that I just described, if there was a meal that occurred that I just described.
If there was a lunch. Willis isn't being asked if she had 4 or 5 potatoes. She's being asked whether or not an event took place, and people are expected to not only remember that, but also want to talk about it, unless there's information they're trying to hide. Previously, Willis tried to garner sympathy by saying that she couldn't enjoy her home. Next, she tries to garner sympathy by portraying herself as charitable, using the buzzword inclusive in the process. Diversion doesn't get any better than this.
Anything outside of that, and it needs to be very clear. Not often. Once, twice. Because I want to be over-inclusive, I'm saying once or twice. I'm not certain that it happened, but I'd rather be over-inclusive with you.
How thoughtful of her. Especially when they're talking about an event she should be able to remember quite vividly.
It needs to be very clear.
Once again, she unintentionally shows that she's aware that she isn't being clear. Not being clear often means that there's information that the speaker doesn't want to disclose. By saying that she's over-inclusive, Willis is trying to turn the tables on the lawyer. That she's the one being patient, when the truth is she's been anything but patient and cooperative. Next, she tries to turn the tables in a more overt manner.
So your office objected to us getting...
I feel like that young thug's friend did a lot better on the stand than she's doing right now. I would like to see a breakdown of young thug's friend on the stand.
Delta records for flights that you may have taken with Mr. Wade.
Well, no, look. I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
So my question was, do you have any problem?
I object to getting any personal records of mine.
Exactly like someone who has nothing to hide is expected to react. Wait. Here, she uses 2 diversion tactics. Calling the lawyer intrusive and confused, which is intimidation, and pointing to other people even though she's the one being questioned. Everybody knows what the case is about, so she doesn't have to make this distracting, generic observation. It doesn't exempt her from answering.
These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020.
Next, Willis continues with the turning the tables tactic, behaving like it's the lawyer on the stand.
Okay, you have to file as part of your job something called an income and financial disclosure report, correct?
That's correct.
And you filed your first one, so you filed 2 to date, is that right?
Is it 2 or 3? I probably would have filed 21, 22, and maybe I haven't filed 23 yet, because isn't it due like June of the next year?
April, I believe. So you filed, let's see, you filed your first one, it looks like April 15th, 2022, and your second one, April 17th, 2023. Does that sound familiar?
That I don't remember the dates, but you're an officer of the court. I'm gonna hope you're telling the truth now.
May I approach the witness?
You may.
Thank you.
Willis is the one who supposedly can remember the number of reports she filed and when she filed them, and the lawyer is only asking her. However, that doesn't stop Willis from feeling entitled to intimidate the lawyer.
But you're an officer of the court. I'm gonna hope you're telling the truth now.
With the vowel stress and the adverb now, while appealing to the lawyer's rank, she hints at the possibility that the lawyer isn't being truthful. To Willis, everything is a power struggle, and her turning the tables tactic suggests that she feels she's above answering, if not above the law. This speaks to personality. Next, Willis's hesitation after an easy question once again emphasizes her lack of cooperation.
When did your personal relationship with Mr. Wade end?
Our personal relationship ended in this year. So let's be very clear so that we don't mix words. I don't want to mix words in here. Mr. Wade is my friend right now. Mr. Wade, I would say, has been my friend since
I heard this, but I didn't hear it like this. This is crazy. Guys, you don't watch these videos. I mean, watch his videos, but don't watch videos trying to crack something down. Otherwise, you're going to keep seeing information every time, or every time somebody talks to you. My goodness, because I've seen this before, but I didn't see it like this. And now with everything going on, I just see it differently. It's crazy.
2020.
She's recalling an event that took place this year. And yes, this year has just begun. Thus, her hesitation here indicates...
You see, I feel stupid. Because again... You know, when she said this year, already I wasn't thinking about the time because we're still in February. I didn't even think about the time because this year has just begun.
Kate stalling, looking to answer the question in the most self-serving way possible. Apparently, there's something about the term personal relationship she doesn't like, and with the upspeak, she's asking, not stating.
This year?
Furthermore, she adds the assessment.
Mr. Wade, I would say...
indicating that there are other interpretations of this than the one she's giving. Maybe even that she actually has a different, undisclosed interpretation.
So let's be very clear so that we don't mix words.
For the third time, she appeals to being clear. In all conversations, people are expected to be clear. So the fact that she's saying it more than indicates that she knows she's not being clear. Same as when a speaker overuses the word honestly. People are expected to be honest in conversations, so why say it? Unless the speaker knows that he or she hasn't been honest up until a certain point. When saying it, she shifts to the collective pronoun we, including the lawyer, as if this is a shared responsibility. I like how over-inclusive Willis is. The important thing to note here is that Willis has admitted that their personal relationship has ended, because next she starts retracting this admission and redefining what personal relationship means. Talk about not wanting to mix words.
I don't want to mix words in here. I think he started out as like a mentor and a professional colleague. He became my friend and somebody that I really respected. I feel very indebted to Mr. Wade for taking on the task of this job. And he is certainly my friend and one of the people that I respect the most. So if you ask about a personal relationship, I consider myself to have a personal relationship right now, Mr. Wade. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Anna Cross. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Mr. Abadi. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Andrew Evans.
Okay, let me just clarify that.
I have a personal relationship with him as we speak right now. I don't think that's what you're asking. I think that's what you're asking.
So if she doesn't think that's what she's asking,
why
does she give this long, stalling answer, repeating the irrelevant point that she respects Wade and appealing to people that have nothing to do with the topic at hand? Clearly, she knew right away what the lawyer meant, a romantic relationship, which is also the definition of personal relationship on Law Insider's website. Stalling allows Willis to postpone the real answer and detail whatever she's comfortable detailing, even though, ironically, it's actually the insignificance of what she chooses to detail that's suspicious. Willis isn't doing herself any favors. Next, she dodges the question in a more overtly deceptive fashion.
When did your romantic relationship with Mr. Wade end? When did it end?
Me and Mr. Wade, we are good friends. My respect for him has grown over these 7 weeks of attacks. We are very good friends. I think, but for these attacks, it would have been a friendship that, as life goes, you would have stopped having. I think that you have cemented that we'll be friends till the day we die.
Willis's micropauses, hand gestures, and evasive and inconsequential repetition of being good friends
We are good friends. We are very good friends.
reveal that she's been stalling, that she knew right from the beginning what the lawyer meant. Yet, she still doesn't answer the question that she's made the lawyer rephrase intentionally. We observe focus shift, her go-to diversion tactic.
So they're still in a personal relationship. That's what it means, right? Or romantic relationship.
This time, the focus shift consists of pathos, appealing to people's emotion and pity. Twice, she says, attacks.
7 weeks of attacks. But for these attacks,
Here, she distracts from the issue by making a good thing sound like a bad thing. It's good to question all people in this case, including a DA. But Willis doesn't say she's been questioned. She says she's been attacked. The next excerpt is unintentionally funny.
Let's.
Could we just have an answer to the question?
I can handle this, Seda. Let's have
she
it.
asked about a personal relationship.
She asked when the romantic relationship ended. That's the question.
It's sometime in, I'd say late summer of 2023.
Funny how all of a sudden Willis
It was
doesn't
this year, though, right?
That's the question.
It's sometime in, I'd say late summer of 2023.
Funny how all of a sudden Willis doesn't have a problem understanding the question. This goes to show that she only answers when she can't postpone the answer any longer, which again goes to show that her moments of not understanding questions are part of the act, because she's known all along what the lawyer has asked her.
So I don't believe men, this is what you're really asking about. This is the salaciousness of all of this, right?
No, I'm just asking
when
about
you're
your romantic relationship, when you stopped dating.
For someone who's under attack, Willis is surprisingly good at attacking other people. Ironically, Willis doesn't need the lawyer to expose her. Willis is doing that all on her own with her reactions to questions. She's the one talking about salaciousness. The lawyer is not. So with this, Willis
And she's talking a little too much, though.
points to the fact that there's information she intentionally hasn't disclosed.
I think that me and Mr. Wade, so he's a man, he probably would say June or July.
A DA
Don't give that face. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Now, I don't know if you guys understand what I mean. Maybe I'm gonna bring the whole video. I'll put the link to the real video so you can go watch it. You'd see like it's totally different when you watch that and then you watch this one. Because when you watch it, you absorb it, you just take it. But when you watch this video, it's like, oh, this is what that was. Like things that adding up in your head, and it's mind-boggling.
and a relationship expert. This is literally too good to be true. Tell us more.
I would say we had a tough conversation in August. And so that men in relationships at the end of physical intimacy, women in relationships when that tough conversation takes place.
Oh, so that's why it's taken her this long to answer, because she can't say if it was July or August. I'm sure in a galaxy far away, that makes perfect sense. With this extensive knowledge about relationships, which I'm sure is completely reliable, it's kind of strange that she didn't just say it right away. Unless, of course, she didn't want to say it. This is arguably her most overt diversion tactic yet. Believe it or not, things are about to get even better.
And where, when did he come to, I guess the condo, I'm not sure what you called it, condo apartment, would he come and stay at that condo or visit you there? I'm sorry, visit you there.
What condo, what apartment? I want to be clear.
I have no doubt that she wants to be clear, especially because she's been nothing but clear, and this is the fourth time she says it. They've been talking about two locations, the house and the condo. So yes, it's so hard to keep track. I totally get why this is an issue she wants to be clear about. Next, it's time for pathos as diversion.
So not your house. I know you classified one as house and one as condo, so I'm trying to use those terms.
So but there's been more see, what you don't understand is because of this case, I got to move. And so I need
Commissioner, if you
to,
could ask a more precise question.
yes, please, give me the time period. that
Initially,
you joined my
Willis
home.
understood the distinction between the house and the condo perfectly. In fact, she was the one drawing attention to this distinction. So the fact that she has to move has no bearing on her ability to answer this extremely simple question. Anything to avoid answering. And in the final clip, Willis exposes her true self, as if she hadn't already.
Mr. Wade visited you at the place you laid your head.
When?
Has he ever visited you at the place you laid your head?
So let's be clear, because you lied in this. Let me tell you which one you lied in. Right here. I think you lied right here. No. This is the truth,
Judge,
And
this
it is a lie. It is a lie.
Ms. Willis?
You see.
Mr. Sena, thank you. We're going to take 5 minutes. Be back in 5.
Apparently, when her diversion tactics, pathos, turning the tables, presenting irrelevant topics all fail, we see what she's really like. Thus, the word lie appears to be on Willis's mind because her own behavior has been deceptive. She projects the deception onto the lawyer. How dare she ask questions? Willis is a prime example
She looks so tense here, like she's gonna cry.
of how people with guilty knowledge
Intimidating.
behave. If you like the video, there's still time to click the like button and subscribe for more videos.
Well, anyways, people get to experience different things. Now she gets to experience what it feels like to be on the other side, you know. And like I said in my previous video, if she's innocent, I pray she's vindicated. Otherwise, you know, people have to face consequences too. That was crazy. It was intense, honestly. If I'm being honest, that was intense. Because when I saw that, I did a fast reaction to it. Usually you think when you're watching these videos and paying attention to the words that you might catch some things, you know, feel like you're seeing certain things, but really you're not. Breaking it down like this into detail kind of gives a whole new different view. In fact, it makes a whole new video. Let me know what you think about it. I'll put the link to his channel. Please go explore his channel. Some of you are going to love it. Some of you might hate it, depending on how you feel. The link is going to be in the description anyways. Smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.